Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you, this time talking episode 8 of season 3 of Riverdale, Outbreak. And oh my god, this is quite possibly the greatest moment of just utterly glorious madness I think we've ever seen in this show. I mean, it just goes completely crazy, and I utterly love it. So yeah, Hiram is like officially out of his gourd. God only knows what he's actually planning to do now that he's managed to get Riverdale quarantined, and God only knows what he said to the governor to pull this off. But oh man, this is amazing stuff. I absolutely love it. I just love it. It's kind of one of those things where, and I did like that Veronica even pointed out, it's sort of like, Riverdale isn't the world. Yeah, you've got kind of this town under your thumb, but it's a big world out there. And, as she's pointed out, if the feds start sniffing around Hiram, he's in some serious trouble. Here, we kind of get an indication that maybe he just flat out doesn't care. He's got something planned. Now, this whole quarantine thing, this can't go on forever. There's just no way. So, what's his plan here? I mean, what is he been telling Penelope and these other people about, like, how he can kind of more or less make Riverdale an area where they can do whatever the hell they want and nobody from outside the town is going to try and interfere? That just doesn't make sense. I mean, if a place is quarantined, and there's all these guys hanging around the roads with guns keeping people out, it's going to be difficult for people to come into town and you know buy drugs and visit hookers. I mean, Vegas is famous for that kind of stuff, and amazingly enough, it's pretty easy to get into Las Vegas. I mean, granted, that sort of stuff has been pushed off to the side, but nonetheless. So, yeah, Hiram, I think, is playing his own game, and he's been stringing Penelope and them along. Uh, so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what in the world he's possibly planning. And it does seem to really seriously confirm that no, Hiram is indeed not the Gargoyle King. And seeing as how we see the Gargoyle King in a different place, as simultaneously, apparently, as Veronica is having a conversation with Hermione, it seems that she's probably not the Gargoyle King either. So that just sort of throws open the question, who is it? And I have no idea. Um, for a long time I've been suspecting Hermione, but her attitude here in this situation really seems like maybe that was me barking up the wrong tree. Fred and FP, well, okay, we obviously know that FP is not there. Fred couldn't possibly be there because he's out, somewhere around the Canadian border with Archie. So who else? I mean, the only character we've met of significant proportions is like, you know, Kevin's dad, Josie's mom, um, maybe Penelope, but oh yeah, we also see that Alice isn't there. So again, that rules her out pretty clearly, unless again it's some minion dressed up hanging out in Hiram's office, which is a possibility. But, oof, man. But yeah, so much good stuff. The war between Veronica and Hiram being creepy as hell. With the whole, like, maybe you'll come and join me as my right hand. It's just like, but you see, that's the thing. This is really the most concrete proof ever that Hiram really does see Veronica as an extension of himself, which ultimately is, just kind of shows that this is all really about Hiram just being an incredibly selfish and vain, egocentric person. He really just doesn't get that Veronica is utterly repulsed by the person he truly is at heart. And that does seriously undermine the one really redeeming feature that Hiram has, in that he loves Veronica. he loves Veronica in as much as that she is involuntarily an extension of himself. And there's nothing Hiram loves more than Hiram Lodge. Yeah, Moose. You think the guy would have learned his lesson about doing drugs after what happened to Midge? Apparently not. Um, Betty playing the smart con at the asylum, that was great. And I love how they explain the origin of griffins and gargoyles in this episode. It feels like something straight out of H.P. Lovecraft, which, under the circumstances, is enormously fitting. It kind of provides, a nice redemptive arc for Ethel, and shows once again, yeah, man, don't screw with Betty. I do like how they point out, like, okay, we've escaped. What do we do with all these people? The only thing I can think of is they're going to have to bite the bullet and go to the farm, because introducing Edgar Never Ever, or Ever Never, is definitely something that's seriously overdue. The stuff at the junkyard with Archie and Jughead and Jughead's mom and little sister, that was great. Mom thinking like, "Oh, I knew you guys are together. I knew it." Yeah, that's a nice little nod to some of the ideas that float around in fandom. Um, I also like that little moment where we see that Jelly Bean apparently has a bit of a crush on Archie, and she gets to kick Penny Peabody's butt, which was extremely cool. Um, Jughead's mom, she was never really very well developed as a character, and they sort of blow past that whole thing where she told him not to come, and she just sort of like, that was a different time, which kind of says to me they didn't really have a long-term game plan with Gladys as a character, so they're just sort of hand-waving that away, which pretty weak, frankly, but sometimes that's just sort of how TV goes, how storytelling goes. And I do like the fact that they actually did take a moment to address that. Riverdale has not always done the best job with its continuity, but that would be a pretty glaring one to let slip through. Looks like this is probably the last time we're going to be seeing Penny Peabody. Never explicitly stated, but yeah, Penny probably did not make it out of that junkyard alive. And I like how Archie and Jughead are just totally, basically like, you know what, fine. Gladys is obviously about to do something really terrible to Penny, and neither of them particularly care, because let's face it, Penny's had this coming. She's a real slime of a person, and the world is not going to be a worse place for not having her in it. Now, they do the smart thing and make it so that we never actually see her dead, just in case they want to bring her back. I mean, it would be an interesting wild card. What did Gladys exactly do with her? Maybe she saw some sort of use for Penny at some point. Penny as somebody to rat out Hiram would be pretty useful. She's definitely going to be privy to quite a lot of information. So if Gladys is maybe keeping her stash somewhere in the junkyard and just didn't mention it to Archie and Jughead, maybe she's going to kind of play her own little game. We'll have to see. Awesome moments at the end with all of this, with Fred and him and Archie having a great conversation, and giving Archie his dog so that he's not alone. That was beautiful stuff. I really have to give it to Luke Perry. He's really doing a great job with this. I never had the highest opinion of of Luke Perry back in the 90210 days, but to be completely fair, I never watched 90210. But the man can act. Let's give him credit there. Also kind of nice to see FP having a moment with his daughter, even though she's obviously kind of mad at him. And yeah, okay, she's not without her good reasons. Still, nice that he got to at least see his daughter after a couple of years. let's see, what else? Um, yeah, Reggie continuing to sort of be Veronica's right-hand man. I mean, again, part of this is no doubt due to the fact that the actors have become a couple in real life, so of course they're going to want to have some scenes together. I'm cool with that. But yeah, I just keep coming back to just how absolutely off the wall this episode was, and it's just sort of like I keep thinking about that whole thing from the Christopher Nolan Batman movies with some men just want to watch the world burn, and I don't think that Hiram is this nihilist like the Joker was, but clearly he knows that this this thing of Riverdale being closed off from the world, that can't last forever. It just makes no sense that he can do that. Um, but for a while, Hiram has a complete and utter free hand. So what's he gonna do? While he is king of Riverdale, undisputed in any way, shape, or form, except for some meddling kids, what is he gonna do? I have no idea. But I mean, Jughead's narration says this is something that's been planned for God only knows how long. It's come to fruition, and I have no idea what the hell to expect next. And it's great. Oh my god, I love this. I love this so much. And that's all I have for you guys. We're not going to get another episode for about a month, just because that's how it goes, winter break and all. But I will be back, and oh Nelly, is this going to be fun. Until next time then, take care and have a good one. And of course, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, and so on. See ya.